the 2024 election with the Paul Leslie Hour.
Trump has been facing these cases back to back, and Biden's polling numbers have been abysmal. So I've been asking people across the country, are we really headed for a rematch? Trump versus Biden again?
Good question, Paul. It's going to be Trump versus Biden. It's too late to replace anyone. If they did replace anyone, it would be Biden, but it's not going to happen this time around. And they don't have a backup person who could be brought up to speed anytime soon. At this stage in the game, they're already talking about what would happen if Trump wins. They're preparing on that end. They're not preparing for anything else. They're going to run Biden until the end. They could have done this 2 years ago and had him step down, but not going to happen this time. Trump versus Biden. Here we go again.
I think that Joe Biden will be the Democrat nominee because it doesn't matter if the Democrats run Joe Biden or an old boot or a new candidate that's flashy and interesting. The fact of the matter is, in my opinion, is that Joe Biden's not really president. The regime is president. So he doesn't need to be functional. He doesn't need to be cognitively with it. He doesn't need to do very much except stand there because they're the ones who are really in charge. So for those reasons, I do think that Joe Biden will probably be the Democrat nominee this year.
I believe Trump and Biden will be our candidates. However, I'm very concerned about losing our democracy. We almost lost it last time. I'd love to see the political parties step in and find new candidates that we could get behind.
So I would like Trump to run another term in office. And also, I do think he will stay on the ballot. And I do think in the end, it'll be Donald Trump versus Sleepy Joe. And I'm praying that Trump or another Republican makes it into office.
Will the 2024 presidential election be Trump and Biden? I cannot say for certain whether that would be the case, but from what I have seen, I think there's a really strong chance both of them could be running against each other.
Will it really be Trump versus Biden? I think so. I don't think they're going to get Trump off the ballot, and I don't think they're going to switch Biden out. They'd be smarter if they did.
So the question is, will Trump and Biden be on the ballot? And I think the answer is that neither of them will be on the ballot. I believe that the election was stolen last time, so there is no way that they will allow Trump to be put on the ballot. And I think even Democrats are losing their trust, and I don't want to use the word faith, but sort of their faith in Biden. So I think that there will be a switch out. So I don't think it's going to be either Trump or Biden on the ballot.
No, I don't think it'll be Trump versus Biden. I think it's going to be Trump versus Newsom. I think the low poll numbers will be used to encourage switching Biden out for Newsom. And then when Newsom loses, they'll say, oh, we lost momentum because we switched our candidate at the end. We should have just stayed with Biden. But Biden and Trump seem so boring. Trump doesn't seem boring, but Biden seems boring. He's not even campaigning. He didn't campaign last time.
Are we headed for a rematch between Biden and Trump? I really can't say, but just going off of what happened last election, I would say yes, we are definitely headed in that direction.
Unfortunately, I don't see a change. I think at this point, the Democratic Party has made up their mind to keep marching down on all these indictments, and they have it in their head, just in their entitlement, that they believe that they are going to get him out of the way one way or another. So it's going to be Biden and Trump. And I think at this point, it's just unfair to the common American because it's crap. And everyone can see it. It doesn't matter what you watch, left or right, you can see these indictments are just a way to get him out of the way. To me, I would much rather have a good discussion and have some common ground. But at this point, get ready for another rematch. It's going to be Trump versus Biden.
Trump is going to be the Republican nominee in November. Joe Biden is going to be the Democrat. What's going to happen, though, if Biden wins, is he is going to either be forced out or he will resign in just a few weeks' time to give us a female of color as president. Trump is leading in all polls, and he should win. But what we don't know is what games are going to be played like there were in 2020 by Stacey Abrams and others of her ilk across the country.
I do think it's Trump versus Biden. I don't see a way that Trump is left off the ticket.
I think that it will be a Trump and Biden rematch this year. I think that there's also a good possibility that they would try to switch Biden out as we get closer to the election with someone else. Of course, though, there will be great efforts to sabotage Trump and his running. But I think whatever happens, it's going to be very spicy this year.
I don't think we're going to have any sort of rematch coming this November unless the blue men deem it worthy of a polygraph monitoring whoever is going up for debate. Then we will have true answers, truth moving forward, a truth movement, if you will. So be it, and make it so.
No, I believe that both Biden and Trump will be on the ballots. There's no real way to keep them off at this point. They need the patsy with Biden so they can kind of run rampant on his watch. And I don't see any legal way they can keep Trump off.
People ask me, what do you think about the presidency? What do you think the ballot's going to look like? Is it going to be Newsom? Is it going to be Biden? But what we do know is it's definitely going to be Trump. What the Democratic Party is doing to keep Trump out of the ballot and out of the White House is unspeakable. It's unlawful. It's unfair. It's despicable. But they're not going to win because we, the people, are awake and we see the corruption. We see what's going on. So it doesn't matter if it's Biden or Newsom against Trump in November because Trump will prevail. He will win. We will get our country back.
I think we're headed for a rematch between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I think that despite what people might think, that's actually what the media and the powers that be want. For whatever reason. They may even install Trump for their nefarious purposes in a surprise move.
So the question is if Biden and Trump are going to be the two head-to-head nominees for the election, and I do think that they are for two reasons. One, the clock is already ticking because it's already May, and if there were going to be some big change, I think it would need to happen pretty soon, or it's not going to happen. And two, I think that their known quantities and the strategies have already been put into play. And so shenanigans could ensue after the election, but I think that those will be the two that we're voting on.
Thank you, everyone who contributed their answers. What about you? I am genuinely curious. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Until next time.